Hey guys, how's it going? It's your favorite 7th grade Camellia math teacher here, bringing you the Miss Kearney mini lesson show. Today we are featuring on our show mini lesson 2, the percent proportion. So take just a moment and read your learning goal. Perfect. So the percent proportion, that's all we're talking about today. So when you ask yourself, what is a percent? Let's just think back to yesterday. And you might have some memories from yesterday. What is a percent? And in case you don't have any memories, let me remind you.
A percentage is a ratio that compares a number to 100. A percentage expresses a number as a fraction of 100.
That's right. A percentage is a ratio that compares a number to 100. So before we get started, go ahead and at the top of your mini lesson, go ahead and write entry number 2. So this is entry number 2. And by this point, guys, you know my expectations. I want to see that you're writing everything down on your paper that I write down. So today we're going to be talking about how to set up the percent proportion and solve. And good news is, guys, you guys were excellent at proportions, and this is basically the same thing. So what you just heard the music say is that we need to remember that a percent means out of 100. Okay, so just remember that percentage tells us how much out of 100. So if you see 25%, that means out of 100. So for all percent problems, we're going to use this proportion right here. We're going to remember that percent always goes over 100 because percent means out of 100. And that equals, if you're talking about the 100, that represents the whole. And the percent represents the part. Okay? So this is our super mega important proportion that we're going to use today. Percent over 100 equals part over whole. And you're going to need to sear that in your brain because we're going to use that the rest of the year. Okay? Percent over 100 equals part over whole. So let's jump down to some practice. So in order to do practice, we're just going to again write percent over 100 equals part over whole. And we're going to be looking for different things in the problem that's missing out of this percent proportion. Okay, we're going to solve the proportion to find the missing pieces. Okay, so for number 1, it says 80% of 20 is what? So as soon as I see 80%, I know that I'm going to do 80 over 100 equals, and then it says of 20. When you see that word of, that's kind of like the total. Okay, that's the whole. So just like we said up here, the whole goes on the bottom. So of 20, and we're saying is what? We don't know the part, so we're going to put an X. Okay, and just like we talked about last week, we are going to solve this using cross multiplication. And some of you have learned that you like to do the shorter method, but I'm just going to work it out. 80 times 20 would be 1,600. And then 100 times x is 100x. We're going to set those equal. So 1,600 equals 100x. Draw my line. I'm going to solve for x. I'm going to divide both sides by 100. And I get that x equals 16. Okay? But in case you like the shorter method, don't forget you can just multiply 80 times 20 and then divide by 100. And for these problems, guys, you can use a calculator. Percent problems are on the calculator active part of your test. Okay? So let's just do one more. So the next one says, on number 2, what is 18% of 150? So I see 18%. So what did we say percent always goes over? That's right, 100. So 18 over 100 equals, and we're going to do part over whole. So it says of 150. Remember, it's of the whole. So 150 must be my whole. And we're looking for what is the part. Okay? So you will put that into your calculator. If you cross multiply 18 times 150 and then divide by 100, you will get your x. Okay? So then, in just a few minutes when we finish the video, you're going to come back and you're going to finish filling in all these problems that I'm skipping over right now. Because I just want to take a minute to do a few examples from each section. And my expectation is you go back after you're finished with the video before you move on to anything else and finish these practice problems, okay? So now let's go down to the next section. To find a percent, so this time we're actually looking for the percent. Good news, we're going to use the same percent proportion. Percent over 100 equals part over whole, okay? And I'm going to give you another one that might help you a little bit. This means the same thing. We said percent always goes over 100. And some key words that tell me to use the whole is of the whole, and is the part. Okay, so percent over 100 equals part over whole, or if it would help you to use percent over 100 equals is over of. So let's read the first problem together. It says 45 is what percent of 90? So it says what percent? I don't know the percent. So what am I going to put over 100? That's right, that's my x. Okay, it says 45 is. Now remember the keyword is tells me that's my part. 45 is the part of the whole 90. And we're going to simply do the same method. Cross multiply 45 times 100 and then divide by 90. And that would be, if we multiply 100 times 45, that would be 4,500. And then divide 4,500 divided by 90, and I got 50. Right? And after the video, again, you can come back and do numbers 2 through 4. So we're going to do one more, and you guys are probably seeing that this is easy peasy lemon squeezy. The next one, instead of looking for the percent, we're going to be looking for the total, okay? But good news again, we're going to use the same percent proportion. So percent always goes over 100, percent per 100. Percent is the part, 100 is the whole. Okay, in case it helps you, you can always use percent over 100 equals is over of. Okay, so let's read number 1. It says 12 is 8% of what? So for me, I always look for the percent because that's easy for me. I know percent it goes over 100. So 8%, so 8 over 100. And it says 12 is. Remember the keyword is my part. 12 is the part of the whole. We don't know the whole, so we're going to put an X here. And yet again, we're going to use the exact same strategy. We're going to multiply 100 times 12 and get 1,200. 8 times X is 8X. And we're going to take 1,200 and divide by 8. And when I do 1,200 divided by 8, I get 150. Okay? So just to recap, guys, for all percent problems can be set up as a proportion. Percent over 100 equals part over whole. Again, percent over 100 equals part over whole. Percent over 100 equals part over whole. Okay? Or, if you like the other way, percent over 100 equals is over of, whichever way. So take a moment, go back and do the practice problems. And then later, we're going to come and we're going to look at those real life situations over on the side. As a matter of fact, let's see what our time looks like right now. And we might have time to do, let's take just a minute and we're going to go do one of those practice problems really quickly. Okay? So I'm over here, the real life situation. We're still going to use the same percent over 100 equals part over whole, percent over 100 equals is over of. So read the problem. It says in a class of 35, about 77% of the class said they will bring their lunch for the field trip. How many students will bring their lunch and how many need to buy? Okay, so let's just start with the bring. So it says in a class of 35, 77%, so 77%, 77 over 100, in a class of 35, so 35, is that my part or my whole? That's right, that's my whole, so I'm going to put 35 on the bottom. We want to know how many will bring their lunch, so we're looking for the part, okay? And so you're going to simply cross multiply and divide. So same thing, guys. So at this time, if you will, go back and do those practice problems we skipped earlier, and then you can get started on the real life situations. And I don't care if you use a calculator either, as long as I see that you set up the proportion first, okay? So just a reminder, percent over 100 equals part over whole. I love you all. Peace out, Rainbow Trout. XOXO, Miss Kearney.
A part of 100 is what percent means in Latin. Now let's take a look at those.
Love you, mean it, guys. Bye-bye.